Hey guys, this is Kelly Ehlert. I'm with Priority Physical Therapy. Sarah had texted me this morning that I guess a few of you guys had questions. I'm hoping it's going. A few of y'all had questions and some issues with some low back or pubic symphysis stuff. So I was going to kind of chat with you about that. I am going to give you a little bit of a anatomy lesson, but then I'll jump in and show you some of my favorite stretches or just mobility things. So here's your pelvis. Here's your hip bones are in the front, and then your SI's in the back. So your SI's kind of that butt bone back there. Hip bones are just those kind of the front of the ilium. What happens I often see, whether we're pregnant, postpartum, is we tend to just not be as stable as we once were. So if this is your right side, this is your left, the right side often gets anteriorly tipped, and that jams the back of you up, or the left side tips up. And then what happens is the sacrum's in the middle and it kind of torques. So for me, what I tend to start with folks is to work on that sacral mobility, which is that tailbone, the bottom of the spine. If that moves, the SI is going to move, and then you can actually move your hips and everything down the chain. So I'm going to give you a few of my favorite stretches. The hard part is when I put my hands on somebody, I know exactly where it is. So these are just very generic. Try them. If they help, they help. If they don't, reach back out and I can give you some more suggestions. Otherwise, sometimes just a session or two of digging into some of those muscles that kind of hold you in that pattern can really, really benefit. So I left my ball in the other room, so I'm going to go grab it. So I'm going to put you on the floor for a second. And let's see if you can see it from there. So let me slide you forward. If you're watching, say hi. I'm going to go grab a ball quick. Alright, so I can't tell who's watching. It looks like there's one person on here. So I'm going to grab this for now. This will come on here. So my first favorite stretch, I'm going to get the foam roller, is just laying. I love the long foam rollers. Sometimes they're hard to find. Laying long ways down it. And then just work, can y'all actually see me? And just work on kind of mobility there. What this does is it puts pressure at that tailbone and the pressure at your thoracic spine. You can kind of work on moving side to side. I find a lot of us have really tight upper backs, and that puts more pressure lower. So in this position, you can kind of do some W's. You can do some openers here. You can do some openers here. From there, you can flip it around and put it under your sacrum. If this is too hard, roll up a towel roll and kind of get into that happy baby position where you're bringing your legs up. And I would rock side to side. So this helps that sacrum from being so tucked. So that's one of my favorite kind of mobility. Also, while you're laying on there, you can work on like a dead bug. I know y'all do that exercise. And what that does is it stabilizes the sacrum and gets that SI moving. So from here, you can do your marches. And it works on a little bit of core stability as well. So you're hitting a couple birds. You can kind of do opposite. And you see how hard it is for me. But the goal with it is to mobilize the sacrum while your ilium, your hip bones are moving. So there's those couple. If you're having pain in the front of that pubic bone, sometimes it could be alignment. So a really quick, easy way to get that alignment is to grab a ball, any ball, or a really hard pillow. Let me see if y'all can see me. You're going to find that alignment where your pubic bone and your hip bones are in a line, so you're not super arched and you're not super raised. And just do like a 3 to 5 second hold, kind of 50-60% effort. And I would just start with 5 times. So just kind of some like we call it isometrics, kind of some on and off. From there, I use a gait belt. You can use a dog leash, something that latches. Loop this around. And then you want your hips, your knees kind of hip width. So you want something that does not move because you want that isometric. You want to like use that force to help those joints kind of gap. So find your pelvic alignment, 5-second pull apart. 3, 4, 5. If you are able, and I'm going off on tangents, sometimes you can look down and see where your hip bones are. So my right one is lower than my left one, and that's the side when I am moving, I have more of a pinch on. So that tells me that that SI joint's not probably sliding backwards as well. So what you can do is that right leg straight. You can kind of get your other leg out of the way. You're going to push down into the floor with that side that's lower. So you want to work on the back of the muscles. And then push up with this side. And same count, 5 for 5, 5 for 3. You can do them separately or together. Come back after you do a couple of those and do another squeeze. Sometimes you get a really good pop at that pubic bone. So those are my kind of mobilization techniques. I love that prayer stretch. Sarah had asked for some stretches, so just getting down. I like kind of rocking side to side. And then kind of a lateral prayer stretch. But I think we've got to sometimes get those joints moving with those mobilizations before the stretches kind of take. And then, of course, there's that cat and camel from there. Off the top of my head, those are my favorites. I love like windshield wipers, legs going side to side, anything to kind of get rotation. If you still have pain, sometimes it's just a matter of somebody getting in there and releasing those muscles. I find the thoracic spine, your mid-back where your bra line is really stiff, so foam rolling that, or kind of those open books. I also find the butt muscles are really tight, so sometimes foam rolling those if you're tolerant to it. And I think you guys know what that would look like, right? So let me get on here. I'll kind of bring y'all down. So you're going to sit in kind of that crab position. You're going to sit on the cheek you want to stretch, cross that ankle over, and then foam roll there. Sometimes I have a lot of ladies that's too aggressive. Sometimes you might need a tennis ball or somebody, once again, get their hands on it and kind of go from there. So if there's more specifics, let me know. Those are generalized treatments. But pull aparts, pull together, kind of help the inanimate kind of gap. Sacral release, laying on the foam roller. You kind of want, I don't know, I'm such a big advocate on movement. You don't want to go somewhere, and this is a tangent. If you see a chiro or a PT and all they're doing is having you they're just doing all the work, they're not giving you something to follow it up with, then there's kind of an issue. So we've got to, I believe big time in hands-on techniques. So I'm kind of going back and forth with this, but releasing that sacrum is huge. And there's a couple little tricks that I can do with my hands, but then you've got to keep it moving. And we also have to look at patterns for what you're feeding into it. So I have a lot of ladies that tend to hold their kiddos. And we tend to just kind of lean all day. So look at where you are here, but then look at where you are here. True pubic symphysis pain is usually where there's an up slip or down slip. Same thing. It's all alignment, all mobility. The sacrum's kind of what holds that together. But I have seen some where there's, especially postpartum, that separates, or that pubic symphysis, which is that bone, the bottom, kind of where your crotch area is, that kind of up slips or down slips. And those can all be corrected, but to me, if you are not strengthening and you're not moving to keep it there, and you're doing lots of impact, but not having the control, it'll slip back in place, or slap, whatever, out of place, slip back to its bad pattern of movement. I hope that made sense. I've kind of been all over the place. This was kind of a random jump on. If y'all need me, I've met a few of you guys. Please reach out, 615-696-9818. You can text me. You can find me on here, Instagram at IamPriorityPT. And I think that's it. See you guys. Bye.